First Existentialist Congregation of Atlanta. It's an old stone church that was built in, I believe, 1911 by an African American congregation. We're looking out at a golf course which was once an African American community, and the city bulldozed it when the real estate became valuable. Basically ran all of the African American residents off. There's some signage up here from the Candler Park Biracial History Project.
Several events that are 10 to the long marathon type version of an event happening here in Atlanta. And then I've always had this idea of doing, well, Franklin came up with the name Howl-a-thon. We get together and read Ginsberg for 2 to 3 straight hours. It's amazing. It's transformative to hear something, off the page, read by a number of different people with different voices contributing to it. And there has been the Atlanta Queer Literary Festival every year. And last year it was too late. I got the idea, but I had the idea of it being a buzz generator for the Queer Lit Fest, and maybe even making a few pennies. Probably not very many. The literary community tending to the lower end of the financial demographic, but even if it doesn't make that much money, you can definitely create some buzz. And for the Queer Lit Fest, which is coming up later in June, and also it'll be a great time to go over the events that are going to be happening.
We'll be certainly doing Howl and America. One of the things that I've learned from working with Rupert on this is how funny Ginsberg is.
Yes.
He's a very, very funny man at times, and did not take himself seriously in terms of the sort of self-deprecating humor that's a part of some of his poetry. So, this will not be all seriousness and all howling at the moon. We'll have a lot of funny moments, and again, I think that it will be a way for people to take him in, perhaps.
So this can be a celebration of Allen Ginsberg and his connection from the old literary past of America to the beats and the hippies and beyond. Because when I was growing up, I would cut Allen Ginsberg poems out of the Village Voice, were the only place I could find them, and now they're in every survey of American modern literature. So just in our lifetimes, he's gone from marginal to, he would hate to hear this, but established. Like Ginsberg, he's like whether you're straight or gay or literate or non-literate, but he's like a connection between the older America. Like he grew up knowing William Carlos Williams, who mentored him. Of course, is one of the established poets of the 20th century. And, actually, William Carlos Williams gave Ginsberg, the young Ginsberg, an introduction to Ezra Pound. Ginsberg immediately went down to Washington, where Pound was incarcerated for being a Mussolini supporter, and Pound wanted nothing to do with this, crazy young Jewish kid, and basically wrote back to William Carlos Williams, "Stop sending me your nutcases."
The Queer Literary Festival will be held June 23rd through 25th, and I believe that only our first night is at Karis, and then the rest of the festival is at the Decatur Library. And we need a little bit more money in order to pay our traveling writers. We are a completely volunteer organization, and we raise all of our own money. We're not receiving any grants or anything like that at this point. So the $5 contribution or $20 contribution people will make when they come to the Howl-a-thon will be helpful. We prefer to be entertaining in terms of how we ask for money rather than pathetic, because they're enough that we can't out-pitiful most causes, but we try to be somewhat entertaining so you get something for your money. And Rupert asked me to be part of the Whitman reading of the Song of Myself, and it was a transformative evening. I had never heard Song of Myself read in its completion, and it was really interesting to have a number of different voices. So, we have young and old, black and white, male and female, straight and gay folks who are going to be participating, and hope to be true to the spirit of Ginsberg and invoke a little bit of that energy.
of my favorite Whitman points. The supermarket in California, I'm just going to read the first 5 or 6 lines, but it's just sort of a feeling of his connection, his link from old to new in America. What thoughts of you, Walt Whitman? What thoughts I have of you, Walt Whitman? For I'll walk down the streets under the trees with a headache, self-conscious, looking at the full moon. In my hungry fatigue and shopping for images, I went into the neon fruit supermarket, dreaming of your enumerations. What peaches and what penumbras. Whole families shopping at night. Aisles full of husbands, wives in the avocados, babies in the tomatoes. And you, Garcia Lorca, what were you doing down by the watermelons? I saw you, Walt Whitman, childless, lonely old grubber, poking among the meats in the refrigerator and eyeing the grocery boys.
This is the last poem in this edition of Howl. It's called In the Back of the Reel, which is the first part of the first line. In the back of the railroad yard in San Jose, I wandered desolate in front of a tank factory and sat on a bench near a workman's shack. A flower lay on the hay on the asphalt highway, the dread hay flower, I thought. It had a brittle black stem and a corolla of yellowish, dirty spikes like Jesus' inch-long crown, and a soiled, dry center cotton tuft like a used shaving brush that's been lying under the garage for a year. Yellow flower, and flower of industry, tough, spiky, ugly flower nonetheless, with the form of the great yellow rose in your brain. This is the flower of the world. Quite a sound box in there. It's a wonderful place to do concerts and poetry readings. We'll be sitting informally, and you know, it's easy to get into and out of. There's free parking all up and down the street, and so we're really hoping that people will take advantage. We'll have refreshments. We're going to have door prizes. We will have a raffle for Howl.
It's a beautiful book.
The graphic novel. So anybody will be. All participants will throw their name, or everyone who comes will throw their name in the hat to get that. And then we have a copy of Howl. This is the 9th edition, I believe, from the 8th printing, rather, from September 1959. And our readers are each trying to get people to come. And so when you come, you'll be able to check off by one of our readers' names. In support of them, and the reader who has the most checks by his name will get this copy of Howl.